A French politician says Brexit is a catastrophe for Britain and blames it for the UK's empty supermarket shelves, petrol crisis and lorry driver shortage. Thierry Breton, who's also the European Commission's Internal Market Commissioner, also says the UK had shown bad faith in dealing with fishing rights. In the Channel Islands, owned by Britain, Jersey's government rejected 75 fishing licences out of the 170 applications it had received from French boats. Let's get reaction from the king of Brexit himself, GBNews' very own Nigel Farage. Hello, Nigel.
Good evening. I think cretin is a French word originally, isn't it? And no doubt I will get abused for using it. I mean, come on. OK, shortages. Long Beach, which, by the way, President Biden, in his last town hall, couldn't remember the name of, the biggest port in America.
Deeply worrying.
I mean, disturbing. But the point is this, ships backed up, hundreds of them, can't get to Long Beach. All over the world, major supply chain problems, partly caused by the pandemic, but mostly caused because what governments have done is to create more money.
Right.
And we have a bigger money supply chasing the same number of goods, and that means shortages and rising prices. Folks, it's called inflation. You haven't seen it for 35 years, but it's back and it's here.
And we thought we
stay.
could digitally print money with abandon, and we're going to find out that's not the case.
The remarkable thing is that it's taken this long for the disease of money called inflation to come in. Because we started this with QE, all the other things, forced money creation. We've been doing it now for a decade.
Yeah.
It's taken time to kick in, but now it's here. I accept a slight adjunct. The real point here is the French thought their European Union was their way of getting back after everything since 1066. This was their chance. Agincourt, all the terribly painful things they've been through.
Humiliation in the Second World War.
Abject humiliation. And Le Resistance, which they all joined about 48 hours before. Some were very brave and did it. But here's the point. This was Brexit to them is they've lost control of the Brits. They've lost control of the Brits. They've lost control of the Anglo-Saxons, and they hate that concept. Free markets, the City of London, financial services, the things we in New York do well together.
Yeah.
They loathe all of that. So you get these idiot French politicians coming out saying all this nonsense. It means nothing, but here's the kicker. And the kicker is we are about to face the biggest confrontation between the Brits and the French for decades.
The Channel.
I sense it's coming before Christmas. We are paying them 130 million, another 54 million to stop the migrant boats coming. They are still coming.
Yeah.
I mean, tonight, Harwich, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
They demand fishing rights in Jersey and elsewhere. We've granted 95% of French fishing requests in licences around the United Kingdom. They're fishing up to our 6-mile line. They're catching, in Cornwall, the French are catching 90% of the haddock. And we're getting 10. And still they want more.
And this is ideological, right?
Of course. Ironically, I rather respect them. Because the French government stands up for the French fishermen. Yeah. Our lot have sold them out ever since Ted Heath back in 1972. But in Jersey,
that Brexit deal wasn't great for fishermen, was it, in this country?
It was a complete sellout. I mean, look, the Brexit deal, in the end, it had to be done. The sellouts were fishing and Northern Ireland. Right? And they were bad sellouts. And I just wish Boris could be more honest and frank with us about it. But the French want more, and we've been appeasing them. So when you appease the alligator, he comes back and wants not just your mate, but you as well. As Churchill talked about. Yeah. Here's the problem. They're threatening to cut off the power supply to Jersey. 9% of our electricity comes from France. We are not
a decisive amount.
So we now import coal, we import gas, and we import electricity, all of which we could produce in this country, but we don't. Yeah. Because Cameron, Osborne, the globalists decided it's all about the market, the market.
We're sitting on decades worth of shale gas as well.
Shale gas, coal, nuclear potential, all of these things. So we've made big strategic errors. But with France, we are, at some point, Mark, between now and Christmas, going to face a problem, because they're now saying they will start blocking our goods at the ports. A trade war.
Yep.
Even if Brussels doesn't approve it, the French will go for a trade war.
And this could be the manoeuvre that gets Emmanuel Macron re-elected.
Well, the one thing about the French has always been consistent is they hate the British. Or, no, I'm wrong, the English.
Right, to be specific.
It's the English. They don't like...
Yeah, that's right. The whole EU are about to take Scotland back into their bosom, or at least so they dream.
Well, it'll never happen. But it's the English they hate. And there's now this new intellectual, Zemmour.
Oh, yes.
Zemmour, who... And I've not met him. You know, Marine Le Pen I know very well. I've known her for 20 years.
And this chap's to the right as well, isn't he?
Oh, way to the right. Makes us look like, you know...
Makes you look like Jeremy Corbyn.
I mean, well, not quite Jeremy, but maybe Nick Clegg. But you, for the first time ever, got a candidate on the right that could win. Could win. And, of course, he, of course, as well.
Because Marine Le Pen's got too much baggage, especially that...
Marine Le Pen... Look, I know Marine. She's not clever enough. She doesn't get economics.
Right.
And there's
she's just a populist tub thumper.
Yeah, and good at the cultural stuff, but no more than that. And, of course, her father's shadow may not be fair, but it's always there. And that's Vichy, it's anti-Semitism, it's a very unpleasant diet. Zemmour has a Jewish connection to his heritage, which makes a difference. Some of the things he says we may not agree with in this country. He, of course, puts out the anti-British line, as all the French do.
Of course.
But there's now, make no mistake, there is now a battle for the future of France between now and the next 6 months. Zemmour could win. And I never said that about Le Pen. I always thought Le Pen could get 42%. She got 35%. Yeah. And bashing the Brits is their national occupation. So Boris, step up, defend the Channel Islands, defend our fishermen, and if that means in the short term a trade dispute with the EU and France, do you know what? They call us Treasure Island.
Yeah.
They call us Treasure Island because they sell us more goods than we sell them. So we now need resolve. Now is the moment for a dose of nationalism.